your theories, what do those coincide with the center of the Earth? Is there a core, like a lava core?
Well, no, the Earth has a nickel iron core surrounded by a liquid ocean.
So there is an ocean in the Earth.
The Earth has a nickel iron core that's solid, but there is an ocean of metal circulating, and it has tides and it has currents.
An ocean of metal, not an ocean.
An ocean of metal. First the iron core, an ocean of metal, and then the lava, and
okay.
it works its way up, and then the mantle and the crust.
Okay, is there any oceans of water?
Oh, there's a tremendous amount. See, water comes up out of the Earth. Stones are full of water. And when the Earth heats stones to vaporization, the water is released and comes up as steam and creeps up through slowly over years and years of time to the surface.
Remember the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth?
How can I forget?
Do you feel why couldn't there be openings to where there...
Well, I believe there are subterranean openings, but I don't believe that it would be possible to travel very far into the Earth in a vertical direction because the heats are quite literally infernal.
But there could be some bodies of water.
Well, actually, they have found that there is a very large sea underlying China.
Under
China.
A sea under China.
There's a huge reservoir of water that's been described as a sea. It's not an ocean.
Yeah, these things are interesting, but I've also heard that there's some nasties inside caves and things that you may not want to run into.
Right, of course. That's why I'm terrestrial. I fly, and I like this part of the Earth. I really am not interested in delving too deeply into the underground.
Caves. Yeah.
And from time immemorial, the idea of the netherworld has been seeded in the psyche of mankind that is not a good place to go hunting around.
Look at what happened to Frodo.
Look what happened to Philip Schneider.
Who's Philip Schneider?
Phil Schneider is an engineer. He's passed away, but he was the man who came out and told people that the United States was building large underground military bases, and he was an engineer involved in that, and they broke through a cave. They were digging one of these underground facilities. They broke through a cave, and what they found was a nest of greys, and they're reptilians, and they're acting reptilians.
Right,
aliens.
Right, the reptilians.
But the greys are underground. They have bases here. They have bases under the ocean. They have bases in the Southwest. If you see the movie Cowboys and Aliens, I thought it was an excellent film. Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's an allegory of the Dulce base. People don't realize that because the rocket that ultimately tries to take off is disguised as a mesa, but it's very deeply buried because they're here.
And this is
mining gold.
Exactly, and this is what I heard was that before, when the atomic bomb was developed, there were two races that came. One was Pleiadian and met with the government, the powers that be.
They both met with the government
and warned them about the path they were going to choose.
Right, they both met with the government,
and then the Greys came, and they rejected the Pleiadians' wisdom and what they told them. Don't take this path.
That's right.
And they accepted the Greys' offer for technology.
That is a becoming.
And that's when Dulce was created.
Right.
Right. And so, and I saw
as a sphere of influence, they were ceded operational privileges in that realm. But it was shortly thereafter they found out that they weren't keeping the deal. The deal was that they could do their experiments on a certain limited number of
humans,
but they had to report them because there's a vast number of missing persons every year in the United States. And the government wanted to know who are the people that just ran away from home or were kidnapped by kidnappers, as opposed to people who were abducted by aliens. And they were allowed a quota. But then it was soon discovered that they were not keeping the deal, or reporting as they were required.
Imagine that, beings that don't have any emotions or any conscience, not keeping a deal.
Well, that's what I was saying to a friend that when people who've had the encounters with them, they pretend to make an agreement, but the person realizes these people have no feelings. They're not like us. They don't have morals. They don't have ethics. Those are human concepts. So keeping a bargain, it's let's see, keeping a bargain, trust, or loyalty is alien to the alien.
So imagine your worst relationship and people that didn't do what they said they were going to do. It could have always been worse. It could have been a gray, and you could have really screwed yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's really, sorry, but it's really, we have to, humor is a form of self-defense, a psychological defense. When people encounter a very shocking situation, there are two typical human reactions. One is to be paralyzed with fear, and the other one is to laugh. I prefer laughter because in laughing you're still free. Your muscles by your own laughter can break paralysis. If people who get abducted say that they're frozen, they're paralyzed, they can't move, well, I recommend taking a deep breath and yelling, "Ha!" It starts like that, or trying to laugh at it. And laughter is something that is toxic to the alien.
Really?
Love and laughter are toxic to aliens.
So, so they resonate with the vibration.
And they want to inculcate in you ingrained fear, because fear is a stimulant to them, and they feed on it. It makes you weak, and it makes them strong.
Okay, can I tell you another vision I had?
Absolutely.
Okay. It had to do with greed. Okay. I saw a cave, and there was gold. They set out a ton of gold to see who would fall for the trap. And whoever took the gold and was overcome with greed, their blood had a smell, a vibration. And then I saw the inside of the cave, and there was blood everywhere, the beings they'd eaten. And and they could find them through their blood smelling from this vibration of this consciousness. Does greed have a vibration as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Do they feed on the vibration of greed as well?
The seven vices, greed, envy, jealousy, anger, hatred, and so on, all of those draw more negativity to you. They make you negative, but they draw negativity to you. And that is attractive to them because it empowers them.
So this is totally feasible now. What I've heard about Dolce, that it was different levels. The base that was
7
created
levels.
by the Greys, it was in Nevada, where?
No, it's in New Mexico.
In New Mexico, right. So after they made this agreement with the government, they got to create this place, and each level had a different level of security clearance. So security people couldn't go except to one level.
Right. No humans could go below level 4, although some people did go down described it as a living hell.
Yeah,
where the experimentation is being conducted.
Is this place still in existence?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not a place to go to.
So now the government is concerned because they're rogue, almost.
Well, yes.
They can't trust them anymore.
Well, I don't think they could ever be trusted, personally.
Well, but it turned rogue, and so...
Well, it turns out that, you see, there is an interesting phenomenon that's described by Thomas Costello. He was the officer who leaked this information and had to flee the country and hide in Central America for years afterwards. But he told the story of how his life was saved by an alien, a Gray that he had to work with. And in the course of working together, there was a learning curve. The alien learned certain elements of humanity.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's what I heard. They need to learn this from us.
You can educate them. And so, as a result, the alien saved Costello's life by warning him that something bad was going to happen. And he told him, look, either shoot me right now or start running. And Costello started running. And as he ran, the alien that saved his life was killed.
Oh, sorry.
I know, you have to be sympathetic to somebody who saves a human. So it's a very difficult...
They killed him. They killed the alien because they told him
to
run.
I'm talking now about a time called the Dulce Wars.
The Dulce Wars.
The Dulce Wars, and there was a huge battle between our special forces and them to take back
the complex.
Our levels of the complex, yes, and drive them back. So that's the legend.
What years? When was this?
I believe the year was 1978.
So they don't, how long had they been there? The deal was made?
The
and-
deal was made in 1954,
Oh, so
but I
it's
believe
been going
they've been operating out of the Southwest for a far longer time.
So which president was that?
President Eisenhower is the person who supposedly had the meeting with the aliens at Holloman Air Force Base. And he was stuck in a lurch because they were so far ahead of us in technology that he had to fight a delaying action. So he had to make the deal to buy time for us to catch up technologically. And it appears that we have caught up, and that we have the Star Wars defense system, ostensibly to protect us from attacks from Russia, China, or North Korea, or any other country, perhaps Iran. But in reality, the Star Wars system is a planetary defense system to keep a perimeter, safety perimeter, against alien intrusion. But we also have humane or human-like aliens that are allied with us and protect the United States.
Such as?
Well, some people call them Pleiadians, other people call another race is called the Tall Whites, or the Nordics.
I've seen them in
and
dreams.
that they have a common
well.
interest in preserving humanity, and they have more of a bond with us and they don't like the Greys. The Greys are anathema to them.
Have they had physical meetings with our government that you've heard of? The
Of course.
Pleiadians?
The Pleiadians, I've heard that there were meetings in 1956.
That's what I heard too.
And I know from Charles Hall, who wrote a book or a series of books called Millennial Hospitality. He was an Air Force man who was stationed in a weather station in Nevada, and he started to see the UFOs coming down, landing, taking off not far from where he was. And shortly thereafter, he found out that we had given a base to the Nordic, the Tall Whites, to operate out of that area, near Area 51.
Near Area 51, and that's why it's been so heavily guarded.
Yeah. But by the same token, it's an alliance that we have with the Nordics, with Tall Whites, for mutual protection.
Wow, so we have these two fractions. We have the more higher conscious beings that are assisting, and then we have the ones that we're fighting with and double cross us.
Yes, quite very well stated.